Hello, beauties. Elena Harder here, evolvinghumanity.com, and today we are talking about guilt and happiness. Guilt and happiness. And we're talking about it because I had a friend of mine today say, my kid's at summer camp for 2 weeks, and he's just at summer camp. And I feel guilty about being so happy that I just have the freedom to do whatever it is that I want to do. And this was a really powerful statement for me because I'm currently in the process of spending 2 weeks, I'm now at 2 weeks, possibly a month and a half with my son at his dad's place. And this is the first time ever in the history of our relationship that I've had this in the last 6 years, really, since I found out I was going to be a mom, where I've actually had time and space to myself to just be. And it's such an interesting place to hear my friend say that he felt guilty about being happy, because I don't feel guilty about being happy. I'm so happy to be free and to get to experience this piece of freedom. And a lot of people do feel guilty about feeling happy, and they feel guilty about being too happy and about expressing too much joy. And one of the most powerful ways that I found to come to terms with that is you can express your joy internally. You don't have to express it externally. And I really learned that as I was deepening into my joygasm practice and experiencing incredible physical pleasure inside of my body. And it was not always appropriate for me to express it externally. And so I learned to express that joy internally and feel incredibly spectacular while seeming fairly normal on the outside. And this was very powerful for me in that time of my life. And what it really did is it helped me to separate my expression of joy and pleasure in the world with other people's perception of what that meant. It was really powerful because for many, many years I limited how joyful I was allowed to be in any given space because I was shut down as a child, as many of us are, of being too loud, too enthusiastic, jumping all over the place, running around like a crazy person, things that I do when I outwardly express all of my joy. And so it's really powerful, this process of creating an internal joy feedback loop as well as an external joy feedback loop that lets you feel those feelings without having to show other people, so that you can feel them fully, feel the joy fully, so that you can feel safe feeling those emotions, and then you can move to feeling them outwardly and showing them to people and seeing that people actually really enjoy and are proud of your joy and success, as opposed to fearful or challenged or troubled of them. Because those fearful, challenged, and troubled reactions are actually reflections of your own inner discomfort with your own total joy and pleasure. And so working through those things is what really creates, internally first, is what really creates the safe space for you to then begin to express and share in your external world. And you don't ever have to feel guilty about being not with your children, as long as they're being cared for and loved by somebody else. And that is such a beautiful thing, because we are children of the nuclear family, and the nuclear family has failed in many ways because we are tribal creatures. We belong in tribes of approximately 150 to 200 people, and the nuclear family says unless mom or dad are with the kids, something's going wrong. And that is so not true. And especially in this age of single parents, of people who have taken on the whole burden of child rearing all to themselves, or maybe to themselves in a small community, if you're in that space, it can be very difficult to let go of raising your children right now, this instant, and being in total control of them. And that comes down to control issues with you and your children as well, which is a whole other topic. So for the moment, don't feel guilty about your joy. Don't feel guilty about your kids being elsewhere. Just have fun and enjoy the time that you have as you by yourself. You're beautiful. Have an amazing day.